Welcome back to the Mike and Andrew Show. I'm Andrew Surrock here with Mike Meredith. Mike, how are you doing this evening?
Good, man. It was a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, very good Thanksgiving. Good to hear. Tuesday's episode in our planning, we completely forgot that Thursday was Thanksgiving, so we didn't do any previews of yesterday's games or most of the games that have been played right now in college football. But we're going to just preview the rest of those games, both in the NFL and for college football that are being played tonight and obviously tomorrow. So we're going to go right ahead here and go right to the NFL starting on Sunday because we have the Dolphins and Jets playing right now, so we'll skip over that. So the Bengals will host the Steelers. Pittsburgh, a 2.5 point favorite in this game. Look, Joe Burrow's injured. This defense hasn't been the greatest. But you have that offense without Joe Burrow, man. It's not going to look good for them at all. I think this is going to be a low scoring game. I'm going to roll with Pittsburgh here, but honestly, man, I'd be surprised if either of these teams, get into the upper 20s in terms of points.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I don't even know who the Bengals are gonna be playing at quarterback the rest of this year.
Yeah, let me see if I can find anything about who is starting for uh the Bengals. Um, be probably Jake Browning.
Yeah,
That'd be my guess. Um,
yeah, that's an L.
yeah, that's just a major L right there. So yeah, I mean, Kenny Pickett has been playing pretty decent this year. I mean, he's been on and off, but yeah, man, I think this is just gonna be a lower scoring game, but Pittsburgh's gonna end up with the win here.
Yeah, I think so too.
Houston will be hosting Jacksonville. Jacksonville, a 1.5 point favorite in this game. This is going to be one of the best
It's
games
gonna be close.
this weekend. It's a very good matchup between obviously the Texans, who've been playing really good football, especially lately. C.J. Stroud has been incredible, really all year except for a select few games, and Jacksonville on the other end. They've had their ups and downs. They had the start at 1-2 and things weren't looking good, and now they're winning a lot of games. Their season's been kind of up and down. I think this is going to be a really close game. But I'm going to go with the upset here. I think the Texans will win this game. They're at home, and when you see a spread that low, I think even if the home team, you know, isn't the favorite here, you kind of want to go with them. That's kind of been the trend, at least this year in the NFL. So yeah, I'm going to roll with the Texans here. Although I would not be surprised at all to see Jacksonville win this game.
This is really tough, man. These guys are both fighting for the division. Jacksonville's got the lead right now. The Texans have a lot to prove. They're really showing up everyone here this year. I think, though, I'm going to roll with Jacksonville. I think that they are more capable of handling these tougher games than Houston is right now. But Houston is on fire, so I wouldn't be shocked to see Houston win this one at home. But I'm going to roll with Jacksonville here. I think Doug Peterson's going to coach a better game here, and they're going to come out with the win.
Yeah, either way, this is going to be a really close game. It's going to be a really fun game to watch too. It's just really my question is can that Jacksonville defensive line really contain C.J. Stroud to you know keep him in the pocket, get some pressure on him. The Colts will be hosting the Buccaneers. Indianapolis is actually a 2.5 point favorite in this game. Look, the Bucks, they were at one point probably the favorite to win their division right now, and right now it's the Saints. They're the betting favorite now to win that division, which just tells you how bad that division really is. Indianapolis has been playing a hell of a lot better this year than I think really anyone expected. That said, I'm gonna roll with the Bucks here. I think they have an overall better team. Obviously, they have better quarterback play. I know Baker Mayfield isn't the best, but over Gardner Minshew, I don't know, man. On the flip side, though, I think the Colts have a much better defense. I know they just got rid of Shaq Leonard too this week, so I feel like this could be a close game, but I think the Bucks could just barely edge the Colts out here. Pretty low scoring game as well, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, man. I think that both these teams aren't really that great. Um, Tampa Bay's definitely not been as good since the first couple weeks here. Um, but Indianapolis as well, hasn't been the greatest either. I think I'm going to go with you, though. I'm going to roll Tampa. I trust their offensive weapons more, even though Baker isn't that great. Um, they just released Shaq Leonard on the defense for Indianapolis. Gardner Minshew isn't that great either. This will be a close one. I'm going to go with Tampa, though.
Atlanta hosts New Orleans in this NFC South matchup here. New Orleans is a 2-point favorite in this game. Um, as of late, the Saints have been playing a lot better football. Obviously, a really terrible start to the season. The Falcons, um, you know, it's their defense really good, top 10 defense for sure. The offense just not not it, man. I believe I heard that Desmond Ritter's starting again, so I mean, I think I'm gonna roll with the Saints if that is the case here. But yeah, I mean, look, the only thing Atlanta really has for them in this game is that defense. If they can get some key turnovers, I think they could win this game. But I just think that the Saints offense might do just enough more than Atlanta's offense will, because the Saints defense is bad, but I don't think that's going to matter when Desmond Shitter's your quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta's in a tough spot right now. They just they just have nothing going on offense. Even Bijan has been, he's had his explosive weeks, but other times he's just not doing anything. So it's tough, man. I think I'm going to go with the Saints, even though I'm not really big on them either. I just can't trust Atlanta's offense with what they have. I mean, Young Hoku is going to have to carry them to victory at this point.
Shout out my boy Young Ho. Uh, the Giants will host the Patriots, and this is this week's toilet bowl of the week. Uh, New England is a 3.5 point favorite in this game. Look, both these teams are garbage. You have the cast of the Jersey Shore playing quarterback for the Giants. Mac Jones is a bum for the Patriots. Both these teams' defenses are horrendous. Both offensive lines like to block John Cena. I mean, this is just like, it's not even the battle of mid. It's just so bad. Both these teams here. That said, I think the Patriots might have a slight edge here. I mean, they at least like Mac Jones. Every once in a while, he can make a decent play. It's very rare. He has like maybe 2 good plays a game, and everything else is shit. The Giants, I just can't trust anything they do offensively or defensively. So I'm gonna roll with the Patriots here. This is gonna be a really terrible game to watch. If you're a fan of any of these teams, God bless you.
For real. Yeah, let's see how many Patriots fans there are now. Let's see who the real ones are.
Right.
Yeah, this is just toilet bowl. I mean, I can't believe the Giants won last week, to be honest. I'm like, they won a game. Like, I didn't expect them to win the rest of the year. Like, this is just bad. I think I'm going to go New England, though, even though they're really bad. I just think that Ramondre Stevenson is probably going to have like a 100-yard rushing game. They're just going to attack on the ground. Maybe Mac Jones can get a couple slants down the middle of the field. Maybe gritty his way into the end zone like he did in the Pro Bowl.
Jesus Christ.
We'll see, though. I mean, this is going to be bad. It's probably going to be definitely hammer the under in this game.
Yeah, let me look real quick. What's the over under for this? The over under is 33.5. I'm hitting that under all day on that one. Or it's gonna go like over, but I mean like way over, and like we're gonna end up with like, because both defenses are horrible. I know their offenses are bad, but I think the defenses might be worse for both teams. We could see something like a 55 50 final score, something stupid like that, just because no one plays defense. But I don't think either offense has the capability of scoring more than 25. They're like Iowa in the NFL. I mean, it's just that bad. Here's another toilet bowl this week. The Titans will be hosting the Panthers. Titans are a 3.5-point favorite in this game. Look, the Panthers are dog ass. They have the Keebler elf as their quarterback. Will Levis, he's at times looked pretty decent. My problem is that Carolina's offense is just so bad, so I have to roll with the Titans here. I don't want to, but I just, when you, like I said, when you have the Keebler elf as your quarterback, you can't do anything.
Facts. I mean, I think I'm with you, man. I got to roll with Tennessee. Like, I don't like Tennessee. I don't think they're great at all. They're below mid. Like, they're not good, but Carolina's the worst team in football, so.
Yeah, they're so bad. And they don't have the first round pick next year. What a shame.
Yeah.
Should have picked C.J. Stroud, man. You should have picked C.J. Stroud. Anyways, the Cardinals will host the Rams, another toilet bowl this week. Rams are a 2.5-point favorite in this game. Look, Kyler Murray, he's back, but he's got no help, no offensive line, no weapons, just nothing. The Rams have been, well, they started the season off pretty good, and then just really lately just fell off a cliff. That said, I'm going to go with the Rams here. Just the Cardinals organization as a whole is a joke. That team is awful. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Rams here. I think this is gonna be another low scoring game, pretty close one too. But I think the Rams end up pulling this off.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Rams too. Both these teams suck, but I think the Rams at least have some competent players on offense that can catch the ball. Like Kyler Murray's basically gonna have to do it all himself. So Arizona's trash, and I think that the Rams are gonna win.
Yeah, it's really all that comes down to is that the Rams have good quarterback play from Matthew Stafford, and they have Cooper Kupp and Pupu Nakua. So yeah, I think just the offense alone will help the Rams out in this one. Denver is hosting the Browns, and Denver's actually favored in this game by 1.5. Look, both these teams, especially lately for the Broncos, have been playing better than expected. I thought, honestly, the Broncos being at 500 going into Week 12, obviously, I don't think you or I saw that coming for sure. And the Browns, they're 7-3. I mean, I don't think either of us saw that happening either. But look, I'm gonna roll with the Browns here. I know, the Broncos have looked really good lately. Obviously they beat the Chiefs. Then they beat the Vikings. So, I mean, they've been playing really good football. That said, this Browns offense, despite not having, Deshaun Watson, they have, I think it's DTR in there now. I feel like their offense still is somewhat better overall. Their defense, obviously, is really, really good. If the Broncos offense is as good as they've been the last couple of weeks, they might be able to keep up because of the Browns, or with that Browns defense. But I don't know, man. I feel like just because the Browns have such a better defense, they can end up winning this game by quite a bit.
Yeah, the Browns have such a better defense right now. Myles Garrett's one of the best defensive players in the league, and they're doing some good things there. Can't believe the Denver Broncos are ahead of the Chargers, man. Chargers should be ashamed of themselves for letting that happen.
Well, Brandon Staley is your head coach, so
yeah, worst head coach in the league. Just
I don't know about that one.
Man, I don't know. He's choked so many times.
I mean, he's definitely one of the worst. He's definitely one of the worst, but I don't know about the worst.
Man, I have receipts going back years for the Chargers, man. Brandon Staley, trash. But in this game, I think I will roll with the Browns, though. Just that defense is going to be too much for Denver to handle.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to is if Russ can keep playing like old Russ like he has the last couple weeks, they might be with a chance. But I don't know, man. The Raiders will host the Chiefs. Kansas City, a 10-point favorite in this game. Now, look, the Chiefs have not been looking good offensively. Lots of drops, lots and lots of drops, but they
Lots of.
still win games. The Raiders are just god awful, man. I'm gonna roll with Kansas City here. I mean, the defense for Las Vegas is terrible. I know the Chiefs' offense hasn't been very good, but at the end of the day, obviously the Chiefs have one of the better defenses in the league right now, which is still weird to say that the Chiefs are a defensive team, not an offensive team, but that's just what it is for us right now. And I'm gonna roll with the Chiefs here. Like I said, this Raiders defense is terrible, and obviously they have no offense. And when you're going up a good defense like this, you're not gonna score much.
Yeah, I saw people saying if the Chiefs didn't drop their passes this year, they could be 10-0 because basically all their games, they got cost by drop passes. Whether it was Kadarius Toney against the Lions, Marcus Valdez-Scantling against the Eagles, and then, well, I don't really know about too much for the Denver game. I mean, that one was just embarrassing. They didn't score much at all. Yeah.
That's because they had a lot of drop passes in that game.
I mean, yeah, sure. So I guess that's the argument there. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs though. Just the better team.
Yeah, overall, both sides of the ball, they're a better team. So, yeah. The Eagles will host the Bills. Philadelphia is just a 3-point favorite in this game. I think that's kind of rude to Philly because Buffalo is not a playoff team, man. I'm going to roll with Philly here. I think they're going to blow the doors off of Buffalo. I'm calling it right now. Josh Allen, at least 2 interceptions in this game as well. Look, Josh Allen has been not looking good at all this entire year. This Bills defense has not been as good as years prior. I just the Eagles, even Jalen Hurts isn't 100%, but he's still very very productive. So I'm I'm rolling Philly in this game. I don't think the Bills are going to be able to keep up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be rolling Philly too. I don't think it's gonna be a complete blowout, but I think that they'll cover that 3-point spread. So um, Eagles, even though they've had their struggles, they are still one of the best teams, and the Bills have really struggled.
The Chargers host the Ravens. Baltimore a 3.5 point favorite in this game. Look, the Ravens might be the best team in football right now. They have been really, really good, especially lately. I mean, just blowing out teams left and right. This Chargers defense has not really been that great. Brandon Staley's this defensive genius, but can't have a good defense at all, despite having a lot of good players on that defense. The offense obviously has its own struggles. Baltimore has one of the best defenses in the league. Their offenses, like I said, have been extremely productive. So I'm going to roll with the Ravens here. I just think they have a lot better. I mean, they're a lot better on both sides of the ball, but offensively especially, I think they have the huge edge there. I think they cover that 3.5 points no problem.
Yeah, I think so too. I like the Ravens this year. They have been putting up a lot of big numbers, and I think that they win this and cover.
And lastly, Monday night, Minnesota hosts Chicago. Minnesota a 3-point favorite in this game. Look, Josh Dobbs is pretty mid. He looked really good, after he got traded to Minnesota. And then, look, I just don't think that level of production is going to keep up with him. He's not a good quarterback. On the other side, if I'm being honest, man, Justin Fields the last couple weeks has actually looked pretty good. I feel like he has slowly progressed a little bit better as this year's gone on. Like each game, it's just like a very slight better than the last. So that said, I think I'm gonna actually roll with the Bears here. Minnesota, their defense is not that great. And if Fields can keep playing and getting better each week, like he has been really all season, I feel like they could end up, beating Minnesota here, who has a worse defense than the Lions, and the Bears were able to be pretty productive against the Lions. So, it's going to be a close game for sure, but I think the Bears might be able to squeak this one out.
Man, I'm not really big on the Vikings, but I'm not this big on Chicago. I think I'm gonna still roll with the Vikings. I'd love to see Chicago win just because the Vikings right now, even though they lost last week, we're kind of on our tail, man. If we had lost to Chicago this last week, and Minnesota would have won and would have won this game, they would have took the division lead by half a game. So, no, they're kind of been on our ass. So it would be good to see Chicago win, but I think Minnesota's going to win.
I think regardless, it's going to be a really close game, but I just the Chicago's offense just very slowly, especially Fields, has just slowly gotten better as the year's gone on, which it's obviously good to see. But yeah, man, I mean, look at the last 2 weeks for Justin Fields since he got back from injury. He's been getting better. So that wraps up the NFL for what's left of this weekend. So now we're gonna move on to the NCAA. Right now we got 2 games going on. We had 2 games played earlier. We won't preview those obviously since they already happened or are happening. But we're gonna get into the 3 games that are being played in about an hour and a half from now, and then everything for tomorrow on Saturday. So let's kick it off here. Number 7, Texas is hosting Texas Tech. Texas is a 14.5-point favorite in this game. Texas is obviously locked in for the Big 12 title game. Win or lose in this game, it doesn't matter to them. That said, Texas Tech is fucking dog shit, man. They really are. I know they're 6-5, they're bowl eligible, but they have not looked very good. They have a lot of bad losses and some wins where they probably should have lost those games too. And Texas is back. I've been saying that all year. So yeah, I think Texas wins, and I think they cover that 14.5 points.
Yeah, Texas is just way better. Texas Tech is just not it, and I think that Texas is gonna blow the doors off and win this one pretty handedly.
Yeah, it's it is rivalry week. I'm glad this won't be a rivalry it's a rivalry, I guess, because it's 2 Texas schools. But we'll finally have the Texas A&M Texas rivalry reignited starting next year, which I'm looking a lot forward to seeing that. I know you are probably too, just because that's such a great rivalry. But this is not a rivalry. I don't know why they always play on rivalry week. Jesus Christ, that is a tongue twister, man. Michigan State will host number 11 Penn State. Penn State is a 23-point favorite in this game. I don't know if they're going to cover that. That offense is booty. That said, Michigan State's defense is booty, and their offense is booty, and Penn State has one of, if not the best defenses in the country. So I'm going to roll Penn State. Do they cover that 23? I don't know, because both these offenses are terrible. That said, Michigan State's defense is also terrible, and Penn State's defense is really, really good. So I don't know if Penn State can cover this, but I'm going to say they will. But obviously, I'm rolling with Penn State in this game no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of whether they're going to cover, if that offense can do anything, or if the defense is just going to take away and score so many points that they end up covering the spread. That's basically it. Michigan State. I mean, there was always a chance, but not really.
No, I don't think there's a chance at all for Michigan State, to be honest with you. But yeah, and then tonight's one of the best games this entire weekend. Not the best game this entire weekend. We'll get to that shortly. But number 6 Oregon will host number 16 Oregon State. We got the Civil War going on. Oregon is a 14-point favorite in this game. I don't think Oregon's going to cover that at all. I think this is going to be a much closer game than people really think. Obviously I'm rolling Oregon here, but this game is always really close, especially when these teams are really, really good. And I like the Beavers a lot, but I just like the Ducks a lot more. I'm going to roll with Oregon here. I don't think they're going to come close to that 14 points, though.
Yeah, I think that 14 is a huge spread, man. I mean, Oregon State, I know they lost, but they were number 11. I mean, just they're a pretty solid team, and I know Bo Nix is going for that Heisman, and he's going to go all out. But I think Oregon's going to win, but I think that it's like a 10-point game.
I think it's going to be within a score. I mean, it's going to be a really close game, I think. Number 10, Louisville will host Kentucky. Louisville is a 7.5-point favorite in this game. Look, they've been playing really good football all year. And obviously Kentucky, they've been as mid can get. Their run offense has been pretty good, to say the least. But that said, I think I'm going to roll Louisville here. I don't know if they can get to that 7.5. I mean, it's definitely possible. Their offense has been really, really good. Their defense has struggled at times, though, so that's where I don't know if they can hit that 7.5-point spread. But I'm going to roll Louisville here. I do think they cover, but it's going to be super close.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close as well, but I think I'm going to roll Louisville as well. They've had their ups and downs, but they put together a pretty solid season. I think that they'll win this one.
Yeah, for sure. Number 14, LSU will host Texas A&M. LSU is a 12.5-point favorite in this game. And look, Jaden Daniels is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I mean, he's been phenomenal all year. This Texas A&M defense is laughable at times. Their offense is okay, but you're going to get in a shootout with LSU, whose defense is terrible. But, their offense is extremely explosive, extremely fun to watch. Like I said, Jaden Daniels, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. LSU is going to win this game. I don't think Texas A&M can come close. I think LSU does cover this 12.5-point spread just because they can't out-duel or even duel with LSU.
Yeah, LSU is going to be putting up a ton of points. They're one of the best offenses, and another one fighting for that Heisman. He's going to have to put up crazy stats, man, coming down to the very end of the year.
Auburn will host number 8 Alabama in the Iron Bowl. Bama is a 13-point favorite in this game. Look, as much as I want Alabama to lose this game, I don't think it's going to happen. It's almost happened with even worse Auburn teams, to be fair. And Auburn is at home. I think this could be a pretty close game. I don't know if Alabama will cover that 13-point spread, but I think Bama will win. I would love to see Auburn win this game. I just don't think Peyton Thorne's up to the challenge.
Yeah, I don't think Auburn's going to win this game, but I do think that they will cover the spread. Rivalry games like this, they always seem to be close. I mean, I would have said that about Michigan State this year too, but Michigan State is literal dog water, so they didn't do that this year. They usually keep the game pretty close, even if they are pretty bad. I think Auburn, though, will be more respectable. Do I think they're going to win the game? Again, I'd love to see it, but not this year, I don't think. They just don't have the talent to compete this year, but I think that they'll keep it close. I think that it could be within a touchdown.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be close. I mean, Look, there have been worse Auburn teams to upset good Bama teams, or at least come close to upsetting good Bama teams. So I think you could make a case, especially because Auburn's at home. We could see something, but I don't see it this year. I mean, Bama has been a lot better as of late too. So yeah, man, I think you just got to roll with Bama here. I would love to see Auburn win, though. I would really, really love to see. My raging hate boner would be like fully extended if they won. Arizona State will host number 15 Arizona. Arizona's an 11.5 point favorite in this game. Obviously Arizona, they're not in the Pac-12 championship game at all. I mean, obviously no one really thought Arizona would be this good this year at all. Anyways, that said, Arizona State's just god awful. I'm gonna roll with Arizona here. Obviously, I mean, I think they cover this 11.5 points no problem. Arizona State's just so bad, and Arizona, they have been really good, and I think, if they keep up what they're doing there, and it's a pretty hard school to recruit to, but if they can keep up, what they're doing, man, I think Arizona next year or the year after, they could actually end up being really, really good in the Big 12 because they're obviously moving there next year. But yeah, man, I'm gonna roll with Arizona in this game.
Yeah, I really like Arizona's team. They are always putting up some big numbers. They went crazy against Utah. They've had a lot of really solid performances this year. And I think that doesn't stop here with Arizona State. I think they're going to win pretty handily. I know another one that might be a rivalry game, but Arizona State just can't match up to what Arizona's doing right now.
No, I mean, yeah, it is a rivalry game, but it's not much of a rivalry when the other team is dog ass. So, number 20, Oklahoma State will host BYU. Oklahoma State, a 17-point favorite in this game. BYU is fighting for bowl eligibility in this game, so I think you're gonna see a lot of aggression out of BYU. Oklahoma State, obviously, a really bad loss to UCF, but they followed that up with a nice win last week. So I think Oklahoma State's gonna win this game. I don't think they're gonna cover that 17-point favorite because I think BYU is just gonna be super aggressive to try and get themselves into a bowl game this year. They're sitting at 5-6 right now, so they have to win to get into a bowl game. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with Oklahoma State here, but I would not be shocked at all to see BYU pull something out of their ass and end up winning this game.
Yeah, this would be a crazy upset for BYU to get bowl eligibility. I sadly don't think it's going to happen, though. I think Oklahoma State's going to win. They have had their ups and downs. They beat Oklahoma, then get their ass kicked by UCF. So definitely been tough for Oklahoma State recently, but I think that they are going to win this one. I do think, though, it's going to be closer than that 17.5 point spread.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a lot closer. Number 21, Tennessee will host the MAC school Vanderbilt. Look, Tennessee, as much as they are frauds, they're a 27-point favorite over Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt is just so bad, so bad. They if they were in the MAC, I think they would seriously be at the bottom of the MAC standings. They're that bad. I'm rolling obviously with Tennessee here. Yes, it's an in-state rivalry between these two schools, but Vanderbilt is just so bad. Is it really a rivalry? No. And it's Tennessee at home. So, yeah, you got to go with Vanderbilt. Or not Vanderbilt here. You got to go with Tennessee here.
Yeah, you got to go with Tennessee. You can't pick Vanderbilt in any circumstance, man. Vanderbilt's just horrible, man.
Yeah, they're just dog shit. UTEP will host number 25, Liberty. Liberty's a 16.5-point favorite in this game. Look, UTEP is horrible. I mean, they're 3-8. Liberty, they haven't played anyone all year, but they're undefeated. I think they're going to finish off the season undefeated, or at least the regular season undefeated. If they have to play a real team in the bowl games, well, good luck.
Yeah, good.
That said, I'm rolling Liberty in this game. I mean, UTEP is just so bad, and, Liberty likes to beat up on bad teams, so, yeah, I'm going to roll with Liberty in this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Liberty too. But if they were to play anyone in the top 25, I mean they're gonna get their ass kicked. So I don't really see them going far in any bowl game or anything.
Yeah, even some teams that aren't even in the top 25, I feel like they'd lose to. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, like I think they'd lose to Florida, and Florida's horrible.
Probably.
Probably lose to Washington State. And well, speaking of Washington State, number 4 Washington will be hosting them on tomorrow. Washington is a 15.5 point favorite. Obviously, Washington has nothing to lose, but they want to keep this perfect record intact because it obviously helps their chances of making the college football playoff alive. Washington State, man, they started off the season really, really well. They were ranked for quite a while, and then they had a loss, and after that, it just fell apart for them. They're fighting for bowl eligibility, but sadly, I don't think they will hit that this year. Washington is just so good. Penix has been out of his mind. Um, Not so much as of late, but you got to go with Washington in this game, man. They're obviously the much better team on both sides of the ball. And Penix is, like I said, one of the best quarterbacks in the country right now.
Yeah. Panics, man. Another one. Them, him, Nix, and Daniels here fighting for that Heisman. Penix, man, can he cap off this perfect season for Washington? We'll see, man. I think for sure they're going to win this one. And they're going to be trying to fight for that top 4, man. They're trying to get that 4th spot. I mean, if they win out, for sure are going to secure a spot in the college football playoff.
Yeah. Florida will host number 5 Florida State. Obviously, big in-state rivalry here. Florida State is a 6.5 point favorite in this game. Florida fighting for bowl eligibility. For Florida State, they need to win this game if they want to have a chance at winning or getting into the CFP because there's a game that we haven't got to yet that has big
Mm-hmm.
implications on how this will all play out. That said, I think Florida State wins this game. Florida, I know they're desperate. They definitely want to make it to a bowl game this year, but I just don't see them being able to beat Florida State. I know Florida State has struggled at times this year, struggling against Boston College, struggling against Clemson, but they pulled off the wins, and that's really what's important. That said, I don't see Florida winning this game, man. I think Florida State will do just enough to get by here.
Yeah, I think so too, man. Florida State, man, they have to win again. Another team really pushing hard to try and get into that college football playoff. I know Florida is going to be a big rivalry game for them, so I think it will be a closer game, but I think Florida State wins.
Yeah, no, I 6.5 points I think is for a rivalry, especially between these two schools, man. I don't think Florida State's gonna hit that 6.5 to be honest, but I do think they will win. Notre Dame, number 18 Notre Dame will be on the road against Stanford. Notre Dame is a
Uh-huh.
25 and a half
Yeah.
point favorite in this game. Um,
A reminder that Stanford beat Colorado.
yeah, Stanford did beat Colorado, but they're not going to beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame is too good. They're gonna Notre Dame is gonna blow the doors off of Stanford, man. Stanford's just so bad, but they did beat Colorado, so they are better than Colorado. So, but yeah, no, Notre Dame is going to blow the doors off Stanford in this game.
Yeah, sadly, this is Notre Dame and not Colorado, so Notre Dame will cover and win this game.
Yeah, they're definitely covering that 25 and a half. Georgia Tech will host number 1 Georgia. Georgia is a 24-point favorite in this game. Um, Look, this is not a rivalry. I don't know why they play each other in rivalry week because like Georgia Tech is so ass 90% of the time, and obviously Georgia's the best team in the country right now. It's just like, what's the point of this game? Like just because they're in the same state doesn't make it a rivalry. It's never been one. Like
Yeah.
if you look at the history of it, Georgia has always been way up here, and Georgia Tech has always been way the fuck down here. Like this is not a rivalry. This is just cupcake week for Georgia, really. I mean, this is so bad. But look, Georgia's gonna win this game. They honestly, I don't think Georgia's gonna cover here because, well, Georgia Tech is always bad. It seems like Georgia can never actually cover the spread against Georgia Tech, so I don't think Georgia is going to cover that spread, but obviously Georgia is winning this game.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the spread with this game because I guess if you're saying that Georgia Tech usually covers, then I mean Georgia really hasn't been that well at covering the spread this year, even against the bad teams. So that's tough, but I don't think they're too concerned about no spread right now, man. They're preparing for the college football playoffs. They're preparing for the SEC championship game. It's going to probably be against Bama. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Bama's already locked in because LSU's sitting 8-3. So even if Bama loses, which is unlikely, but it is possible still. Like we said, it's more than likely still going to be Bama. South Carolina will host number 24 Clemson. Clemson is a 7.5-point favorite in this game, and they're going to win. I mean, South Carolina's terrible. Spencer Rattler is a rat. I mean, he's so bad, and he looks like a rat too, so that doesn't help. Yeah, no, I mean, Clemson is not a good team this year. Really, last year they weren't a good team either, and But look, there's just no way South Carolina wins this game. I know they're fighting for bowl eligibility, but Clemson is just, even though they're not a good team, they are much better than South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina is just trash, man. Spencer Rattler, at the time he came out of high school, was considered one of the best QBs coming into college, and then now he's just like irrelevant.
Yeah, he's so bad, man. Number 19, Kansas State will host Iowa State. Both these teams are obviously bowl eligible. Iowa State 6-5 right now, so they have really nothing to lose here. Kansas State, they're sitting 8-3. They are a 10-point favorite in this game. I don't know if they cover this game. I mean, Iowa State has played really good football this year. I know the record doesn't show it, but they have played some really good football, especially at times this year. They kept it close with both Oklahoma and Texas. Kansas State, obviously, they're not in their Big 12 title game to defend their Big 12 title from last year. But that said, I think Kansas State has the edge in this game. I don't think they cover that 10 points though.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a closer game for sure. I think that around that 7-10 range. But I do like Kansas State. I think they have a solid team this year. They beat the big game with Kansas, so I'm gonna roll with them.
Number 22, NC State will host UNC. UNC is actually a 2.5-point favorite in this game. Look, Drake May has been fighting for his life really all season. This offensive line is booty with like a capital B and a capital O and another capital O. Basically, it's all caps booty. That offensive line is just horrible. They are one of the worst statistically offensive lines in the country. NC State has been playing a lot better this year than I really thought they were going into this season. But I think NC State wins this game. I know this is a huge rivalry between these two schools. There's something going on in North Carolina lately that, they started off the season really well, and then just like out of nowhere, this offense started to fall apart. I think NC State wins this game. This 2.5-point spread is really good. I probably would say, if I'm picking NC State, obviously they cover that spread, But yeah, man, I'm going to go with NC State here. I just don't know if I can trust North Carolina, especially the offensive line against this pass rush on NC State, which is fairly decent. But yeah, man, I'm going to roll with NC State here. I think it's going to be a really close game, though, still.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really close. UNC, I really do like Drake May. He's going to be great in the NFL, I think. But yeah, their team just is struggling. They had a whole bunch of really close games, and then they started losing. I'm going to go with NC State here.
Yeah, I mean, look, Drake May, if his offensive line was at least somewhat decent, we would obviously see. I think Drake May would probably go, if not top 5, maybe top 2 quarterback in the draft, but just he hasn't looked good because of his offensive line. It's really a shame. But yeah, man, this is going to be a really close game regardless. And then last but not least, big noon Saturday. Number 3, Michigan hosts number 2, Ohio State. Huge rivalry, obviously, between these two schools, these two states in general. Michigan opened up the week as a 5-point favorite. It is down to just 3.5 now. Look, I don't know where to go with this game. As a Michigan fan, it obviously I want to pick Michigan, and I probably will pick Michigan to win it. But that said, there's a lot of question marks. This offensive line on Michigan looks terrible as of late. JJ might be fighting an ankle injury as well. Not good. That said, man, this Michigan defense is obviously good enough to win this game. I think they're going to put Will Johnson on Marvin Harrison Jr. on every single play. They might try to double team him, but Will Johnson will at least always be on Marvin. And that said, man, Ohio State's got, Travion Henderson, who's one of the best running backs. Both these teams can run the ball a hell of a lot. I think it's really going to come down to a possession battle. But, man, I don't know. I think this is going to be a really, really close game. I really do. I can't trust Kyle McCord to go into the big house for his first game against Michigan. So I can't really trust him there. He's going to have to. I feel like they're going to really run. That said, there's huge implications for this game for obviously the college football playoffs. Whoever wins this game is going to the Big Ten championship to go play Iowa and beat the shit out of them, 50-0. And obviously the loser's probably going to fall down to number 5 or, whatever. Definitely not going to be in the top 4. That also said, if Michigan wins, Ryan Day's done at Ohio State. He is on the hot seat. You lose 3 times in a row to Michigan at that school, you're done.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a lot going on with Michigan right now. We're going to talk about that eventually once obviously a lot more comes out, especially once the NCAA is done with the investigation. That said, man, this is going to be a really close game. This is going to be a really good game too. But like I said, it's going to come down to that possession battle. I am going to pick Michigan here. I think they cover that 3.5 points. I could see this game going on a last-second field goal, though. I really could.
Yeah, so I brought up in the last episode, there was a point I wanted to bring up about this Michigan-Ohio State game, and it is that the team that's ran for the most yards in the game, the more rushing yards, has won the last 21 straight matches between these teams. So whoever wins the run game is going to win this one. Michigan's got a good run game. Ohio State can run. So if Michigan wants to win here, run the ball, man. Win the run game, dominate up front, and that's how they're going to secure this win.
Yeah, here's the other thing, too, is Michigan, their run defense is one of the best in the country. They've let up some big runs, but then, those runs usually happen really early in the games. So Travion Henderson, he's going to have to really put up a bunch of explosive plays against Michigan, because once an explosive play happens against them, they already know next time that play's coming, they know what to do and how to stop it, and they always seem to do that. So they make really good adjustments on that run defense for Michigan. So Travion Henderson's going to have to do a lot of work in this game if they want to have a chance, I think. Like I said, you can't really trust Kyle McCord in the big house for his first game against Michigan. It's really hard to do that. It's a huge rivalry. You're on the road in an extremely hostile environment. And for a quarterback who isn't all that great either, I mean, Kyle McCord has not been good this year. He's been good at times, but not the greatest quarterback. Man, this is going to be a really close game. Obviously, my eyes are going to be glued to my screen tomorrow for this game.
It's crazy. I'm going to be missing most of this game because I'm going out with friends, so I'm probably just going to be watching highlights and catching it on my phone, the scores, which, sucks, but I definitely am going to stay updated, though. Every 5-10 minutes, I'm going to be checking the score.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm gonna be eyes glued, man. That sucks. You can't watch it, man. Oh man, you're missing out. You're gonna be missing out, man. I swear.
For real. Hopefully Michigan can pull it out.
I really hope they can, cause just fuck Ohio State. But anyways, so that
Ohio.
fuck Ohio.
Ohio.
But anyways, so that wraps up the NCAA college football for this weekend. Well, for everything that hasn't been played yet. So that wraps that up. And Mike, we got some NBA stuff to talk about. So let's get right into it.
Okay, so as many of you guys have probably heard, or if you haven't heard the news yet, NBA star Josh Giddey here, he's involved in some scandals here. And you know how the NBA scandals go and the NFL and all that. So he was caught. It kind of came out of nowhere. I saw it. It was Wednesday night. Wednesday night, early Thursday morning on Thanksgiving. Photos started surfacing of Josh Giddey with this underage girl, and it claimed in the photo that she was 15. So he's 21, and she is 15 or 16. I think she's 16 right now, but at the time she would have been 15. And you know, there's literally a picture of her and him on Snap, and it says that they just fucked. So it's like, yeah, it's some deep ass shit, man. Like he's in some situation like where he can't deny it, man. Like there's a lot of evidence here that he was like, you know, with this girl, hanging out with her, and right now today they're looking into what's going to happen here. The NBA is investigating. He still hasn't been banned from like practices or games or anything. He hasn't been suspended yet. They asked him in an interview today. He said no comment. So, you know, innocent until proven guilty, but he's not looking too good right now. I mean, he's looking like he's going to join the Karl Malones, the Wander Francos of the world. He's going to be grouped in with the pedos, man. So, do you have any thoughts on this, man?
Just one real quick question about it first. Was he on the Epstein flight log? Look, I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person for that one.
Because bro, dude, the memes too have just been going crazy. Like,
yeah, no, I mean,
they're like, Josh Giddey. He's like, he sold his NBA career for a blonde that he could have picked up at the bar, and then people are like, well, yeah, you wouldn't even find her at the bar because like, you know, she's not even old enough. And then, like, too, bro, he's 6'8" NBA player, bro. You're telling me you can't get no action, bro?
right? You're looking to a 15-year-old girl, dude, bro. That's sad. Man, there is something really fucked up in this world, man. Where you got people just doing this shit with kids. It's honestly disgusting. Like it is honestly just disgusting that people like this exist in our world still. And look, obviously innocent till proven guilty. I have seen some of these photos, man, and I mean, it's pretty fucking damning. It's really hard to deny something happening when, you know, there's tons of evidence that it happened. I mean, it is really, really bad looking for him right now.
Yeah. He turned the comments off on like all his IG. The girl too, same thing. People been trying to reach out to her, and she's blocked all her DMs, comments, everything. So no one can really reach out or do anything right now. I mean, it's just basically been on Twitter just flaming his ass.
Yeah, I mean it is sickening. But you know, if you know this is all true, and it certainly looks like it, man. I mean, this is some really, really bad shit for him because I mean, yeah, just unfortunate that this happened, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
He's such a promising player too. Like,
right?
It's always like the promising players too. It's like you never hear about this scandal with like some bum. Like it's always the top players, man, or like some of the up and coming stars, man. Just and I was talking to my friend about that. He was like, Do you think like this is just a new age thing, or do you think it's been happening like in the 80s and 90s? It's probably been happening since the 80s and 90s. It's just now we have social media. It's like you can expose yourself so much. One photo online can spread everywhere, and then you're basically caught. Basically, social media has made it so much easier to find things out about these people's private lives.
Yeah, I mean, it really has, made it possible. It's so easy to get caught doing really anything now. Obviously, we'll wait and see what happens from here with this case. But right now, man, it is not looking good for him. And yeah, obviously it sucks because he blocked everyone from commenting on stuff, and she blocked everyone, so it's kind of hard to reach out to her, and it's a huge mess for sure, man. But yeah, obviously we'll see what the NBA does. Probably just like a 3-game suspension or some shit. If this was the NFL, he'd just get like a 2-game suspension and
A
a
$10,000 fine.
$10,000 fine, right? But you gamble on basketball, you get 6 games. Fucking
Yeah.
stupid. NFL's just retarded, but it is
Yeah.
what it
Well,
is there, man.
if we hear any updates or, of course, see any updates, we'll let you guys know on the pod. Probably won't get nothing till like next week, so we'll see.
Yeah, that we will see about that. So that's gonna wrap us up. Next Tuesday, obviously, reviews of over this weekend, as well as the games that happened yesterday that we didn't get to preview, and all the other college football games that we didn't preview today because they're already happening. So that said, thank you guys so much for listening. Rate, review, subscribe. Help us out. Let us know, what you want to hear, what you want to see from us, and we will see you guys on Tuesday.